what assault rifles do, what LMGs do, and what MP40s, for example, submachine guns do. But that's just a tiny fraction of an element of this game, and that's why it's so damn deep. Here come the French Grenadiers, ducking behind medium yellow cover, forcing away the Tommies. On the strategic map right now, it seems that both teams are equally poised. No big wins as of yet. It's just a frenetic early game situation, a melting pot for what's to come.
You just see that the British Vickers machine gun, they're trying to defend their fuel on the right side of the map, and the Vickers is going to be suppressing all that infantry coming across the negative cover of the river. An important unit, and well backed up by the Tommies and the Universal Carrier.
French Grenadiers pushing up, planting some sandbag cover behind that central victory point. We've got Rakettenwerfer. Stern Pioneers overwatching the situation. You can just see that the Universal Carrier is upgraded to a Vickers K-mounted variant, and it's actually in front of a Vickers machine gun itself, so there you go. And it seems that we might have a fuel dominant situation for Von Asten and Isildur, so we could be seeing an early T-70, possibly an early AEC armoured car for the Brits, so they'll have anti-tank and anti-infantry for days, and that should arrive quicker for them than their opponents thanks to their fuel control.
And all about getting those vehicles to the field quickly. Nice little stronghold position for OKW here. They're going to run into a mine though, and that's going to take a couple of models down. Actually, one model on the Volksgrenadiers. Will the scout car give chase? There is a Raketten, opens up with the first shot. I think it's in range for a second. He's pushing for vision with the Volksgrenadiers to launch the second shot, and it's a hit!
Gets it! What a shot there, right on the cusp of his range. He does a fantastic attack ground shot and gets the kill. Great work there by Helping Hands. He was under pressure thanks to that mine, talking of mines, but he somehow turned that pressure into a success, and that's what makes a great player.
Yeah, also as well, the foresight to see units running down here on the retreat. He lays a mine so that those units are suppressed. Let's have a look at DevM on the right-hand side, getting a successful flank on the Vickers, pushing the Brits away from this side. They'll get their fuel, they get the munitions, get the VP, and it's the very least they need to compete.
A new player in chat asks, is this game at such tight levels that they cannot afford to build a fuel cache in top level? That is exactly true. Manpower, when you become a very good player, suddenly becomes the most important economy in the game. There's lots of economies. There's fuel, there's victory points, there's population, there's munitions, etc. But manpower, all of a sudden, when it's really fine at these top echelons of play, becomes the most important dynamic, especially in the early to mid game passages, because if you've got more control, if your infantry squads are healthier, if they're doing more damage and they're more lethal, you're capping more points, and that leads to every other success in the battle.
You hear the Volksgrenadiers, they're getting some green cover. You see the dots here? That indicates that there's green cover there. And taking the time whilst capping points just to make sure if they do get pushed into that territory, they can have a better fight. So love to see players playing that way. Helping Hands is always one of the best for it. What's Hands firing at here? He's trying to get actually the green cover barricade.
Destroying the exactly the Soviet sandbags there, so they can't control their territory points as well. Here we go, we've got a 6-pounder out for Isildur. We've got Tank Heavy Battalion Command coming down for Von Asten, so that's the T-70. That'll soon be on its way for 260 manpower and 70 fuel. And he's doing more of it, Helping Hands. He's destroying those sandbags. What an aggressive chap.
Oh, so many mines in this game. Conscripts just get suppressed after 2 models die to a mine. And you see how much better the Volksgrenadiers fight when they are in these green cover positions. Green cover is an essential mechanic in this game to utilize. Where is the support here, though? The Rakettens are stealth and moving in. We've got an ISG for long-range indirect fire to try and keep the more static play of the British infantry at bay.
Ooh, those conscripts heard it coming, as did the Tommies. And that's what top-level players do. They listen to the audio cues, they hear the mortar, or in this case, the ISG support gun fire, and they move before it hits. But it does seem like the Axis, the double OKW from the south, are winning rather well. And they're doing a good job of controlling points at the moment. Just about to lock in a triple victory point count, which will more or less bleed their opponent's victory points by 1 per second.
It's been a tough game. And in fact, it was DevM and Hands that struggled playing allies on this map last time. This time, Von Asten and Isildur are going to have a taste of their own. And they really are finding it difficult to work together to get on top of the resource points. That being said, though, Hans and DevM have both gone over to the right-hand side. There is a huge gap on the left-hand side of the map right now to be taken advantage of, but they're still having a cluster fight in the center.
They are. The center is there for the exploitation, and here comes the Folks Grenadiers to punch a hole in that resistance. Oh, and they take out the Universal Carrier. The former crew members are strewn across the battlefield. Rakettenwerfer is also pushing up looking for a cheeky shot. And this is a fantastic push by DevM and Helping Hands. Down and then look after game 1, they're making a true go of game 2.
Absolutely. We just see, by the way, Panzer II Lukes. We saw this in the last game from Isildur. This time it's going to be in the hands of Helping Hands.
And he's going to be helping himself to many infantry kills with this anti-infantry based tank. Of course, a nice grenade.
Got that right through the window. Oh, good shot, sir.
There you go. His next draft pick for the NBA. It's clearly fantastic. Stern Pioneers do have the Minesweeper out. They're going to sweep for mines, and they're going to put that Minesweeper away into their back pocket. It's a feature of Stern Pioneers. And they're going to get one more. There you go. Get one more. Before they're forced away, of course. Gasler's curse. One more Sturmgewehr available. Isildur's Vickers in heavy danger there, but does retreat through smoke, so is safe for now. 6-pounder. Also in a decent position.
Nice little flank, actually. Tommy's in the garrison. Going to be picking off any retreating models through here. We talked a second ago about the left-hand side of the map not having any units there. Well, Isildur jumped on that opportunity to recapture loads of the map. I would say that's a bit of an error there by Hans and DevM to group up so hard.
Yeah, possibly.
And that's double fuel for the Allies.
I think it was in that central push in. When there's a lot of parity between the teams, when they've gone for a cut-off attempt and they're forced back to base, you will see that ebb and flow, to and fro kind of gameplay. And that's what we're seeing right now. Rakettenwerfer being destroyed, thanks to the 6-pounder AT gun of Isildur. Missed on that attempt. Just some action opening up in the west, though. There we go, Folks Grenadiers forcing in. There is a mine waiting for them. Of course, can't be swept right now. And the Lukes could actually hit that mine if it's not careful, if it decides to get a little bit too aggressive.
Hopefully we don't see that happen. I think one of the best things about the Lukes is just left to right on your side of the river, just controlling the river, basically. When we start to see it going to enemy territory, that's when those mines are going to come in. And we've seen so many mines this game. It is a risk. But good on Helping Hands here. He noticed how much of the map he lost earlier, and now he's sending units over. DevM and Hands deciding to spread out a little bit more for map control. And I think that's sensible right now.
So, by other competitive game standards, I mean, $1,250 is possibly modest, but by this game standards, it's a lot of money. And for these guys, they're not pros, they are just very competitive amateurs. And the disparity between who loses this match and who wins it is 600 versus 1,250 per player. So there's a lot of money at stake, considering these guys are students. One of them's a professional streamer, for example. This is a big competitive battle for these guys playing for you now. They're playing the hearts out for you. This is a best-of-5 confrontation. It's the second game, and Helping Hands and DevM, the Axis players from the south, are currently winning in Game 2, seemingly. They're doing a good job of it.
Just dodged that line there as he went to go and attack the conscripts. If they do get pushed off by the T-70, though, they might have a problem to deal with.
So do some good shots in there. Conscripts coming in, possibly trying to either feign or threaten an AT grenade. But the other point is the Mosin-Nagant rifles could pick away at the... No, they couldn't get the Stern Pioneer on retreat.
Back in the east again. But, Brits struggling. They have upgraded now to the Bren guns, so British infantry we're chucking out a little bit more DPS. Raketten here, stealth. It's such a good unit to go in and try and cap behind the lines. It is backed up by some low health Volks Grenadiers, but they will be relatively uncontested. Here's the ISG dealing with the support weapons as it's meant to.
Yeah, it's going to force that away in no time. Just one shot, no manpower casualties though, so just free forcing your opponent away with not much repercussions. We do have the Stukas of Foos on the way. That's incredibly interesting. I've never seen a rocket artillery piece on this particular map.
Unheard of in 2v2.
And what's this? Isildur has gone for the Mammoth tank, the GDI Heavy. This thing has 2 cannons. It's got rocket launchers on both sides of its turret. What a vehicle.
Beautiful vehicle. Love the Cromwell. One of my favourites.
It's a beautiful game. Cromwell, of course, was a mid-war a mid-war tank design from the Brits. An interesting tidbit for you here. Officers of the tank corps were up in arms at the flat-facing armour that the Brits had come up with for this new tank that was going to lead them into northern France. And there was talk of, quite frankly, mutiny, because they were very, very aware that sloped armour was the way to go, and they thought they were being sent to their deaths. And there's letters to that effect. Just an historical tidbit. Back to your regularly scheduled viewing.
I like the information. I mean, obviously, KO2 being World War II RTS does bring up a lot of. We always see this.
Biggest conflict in human history probably will be for a very long time until we are invaded by the machines. Nice incendiary grenade. They're just denying the garrison. You want to get into my house? My house is on fire. Get out of my house. Yeah. It's like when you have guests over for Christmas and you go to really drastic lengths to get rid of them after they've overstayed their welcome. Well, the house is on fire. You're going to have to go. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Luke's is just leading the way for the Rakettenwerfer. Stern Pioneers recapturing the fuel. Axis still have dominance. That's denoted by their 470 victory point count versus 283.
Stuka, we see on the field there, hasn't taken its first shot yet. I think they're going to be looking for the prime target, and the surprise factor from these units is always one of the best things. You want to be using it before before your opponent knows that you have it. Raketten finds out the Cromwell. Can it escape the cone of fire?
Seemingly not. Rakettenwerfer isn't able to get a second shot. Oh god, Stern Pioneer gets shot by that precision fire of the Tommies there. Lee Enfield rifles at full accuracy. Here comes the Stuka Zufus. 6 bombs fall high from the sky and don't do much, and no soldiers die. You have to laugh every time I rhyme down, honestly. I'm here all day. You'll laugh yourself out.
Sorry, this catches me off guard.
When you least expect it. Exactly. Here we come, the Welshmen, the Royal Engineers upgrading to a minesweeper. They'll be able to repair the Cromwell and then make sure it doesn't get hit by anything it doesn't want to.
The Brits are a funny beast, because I mean this is their repairing unit that comes out of tier 2, and before that they don't really have an option for repairing, so they need something out for the Cromwell right now. And that's their purpose, to get this back up to full health. It's an important unit. It's got a window of time on the battlefield before Axis start rolling out their counters.
I'm loving Helping Hands' preemptive incendiary grenades. They're just stopping Von Asten being able to get into a skirmish that he wants. And that's what gunfights are all about. It's all about making the gunfight on your terms. You want high ground. You want a position of benefit, of priority. And how Helping Hands is using incendiary grenades is exactly to that effect. If he sees a situation not quite in his favour, he throws an incendiary grenade to turn it into one that is in his favour. And that is fantastic play, and it all adds up. It's all the small things top players do that makes them great.
Yeah, it's a picture built up by a lot of small actions, and one of them, we nearly just saw the T-70 being taken down by a double Raketten stealth in the center. Got a VP battle, and you see cloaked Raketten is stealthily decapping and recapping this victory point. That's going to avoid the suppression fire from the MG, so really good play. We do see Von Asten with the NKVD rifle disruption tactics using fear propaganda at the moment. This will force retreat of units in the area. It'll be a very powerful tool for controlling VPs.
An act of true desperation, the NKVD. You don't want your political commissars having to force you into battle, and that's when it was not going very well for the Soviets. We do now have Devem with the Panzer IV late war variant on the battlefield. This thing is an ultimate killer Alf J variant. It may just take out some of these Tommies right now with the hull gunner and the main cannon firing. One of these squads surely has to bite the dust. Couldn't quite get the kill.
ISG couldn't finish it off on the retreat either. I think Stern Pioneers tried to get a successful flank. They still have an opportunity to, but there's a barrage from Von Asten with the Soviet AT gun. Careful, those.
Thousands upon thousands of you are turning out today in this, the most viewed Company Heroes cast live on Twitch that's ever has been. Stuka Zufus with a nice array of bombs there. So all 6 were roughly on target, so not too shabby. Stern Pioneers being rebuilt for Devon. Panzer IV is just going to come up to the east here and force away those Tommies and Vickers, none of which have any answer to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely not, no. There's it's a fierce fight on all three fronts right now. I don't think there's actually stable ground for any of the players. It's constantly shifting hands. One thing that isn't constant, though, VPs for the Allies, below 250 right now, so Devim and Helping Hands are having a much stronger game too.
They are, and I don't want to debase this down to just being about factions and crossing in the woods, but that's only because I'm polite. We've got the Panzer II Lukes of Veterancy 2 forcing away the penal battalions. Here comes the Foch Grenadiers. They see the T-70, they recoil from the situation, but they're going to be lurking around to try and get the Panzerfaust should it rear its ugly head yet again. And this is a long-haul situation. This is a best of 5, so although, as I may have mentioned, it is an Axis map kind of matchup that is in favour of the Axis, and that is statistically proven. It is a long-haul situation, so these teams are going to be battling against each other in another map that will be coming in the next game, and that will open things up a little bit in my mind and make things a little bit who's going to win the game 3, because it probably looks like it might be 1-1. But Dan, we're only 19 minutes in. Anything can still happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure that actually Von Asten and Isildur have been playing so well as allies in this game. I think if we see another ally game from them, maybe they'll change something up.
I've noted that when allies do tend to win on this game in 2 vs 2, they have to devolve it down into an artillery fest, and that's just the way of it. I think Axis tools are a little bit better when the map is spread and the fields are open. So if they can just demolish that with rockets and huge shells, they can neutralise the situation in their favour, and I have seen that quite a few times, to be honest. Let's see what...
Panzer IV just went down there to the Cromwell on the right-hand side. That's a very important pickup for Isildur with the Cromwell. Cromwell's been played very well, I feel.
There we go, good pickup for the Cromwell there. First big casualty in a while for the Axis. That could help Von Asten and Isildur back into things.
Yeah, do you know, Axis have held a triple cap for a long time. And when you have 3 stars, of course, that is the big thing. That's when the ticker starts to go down. 0.75 VPs per second is the drain down when you have 3 VPs. So that's the fastest you can get your opponent's VPs draining. And it's not something...
That's not true. There's an 11 VP map on the customs...
Oh, right.
on Steam.
Don't do this to me. Don't do it to me.
No, it's called Sammy's Death Zone, and it's got 1 bridge in the centre, and it's built for 8 vs 8 play. It's fantastic. You need to play it, Dan. It's got no features on it. It's just a green rectangle. I must add that, but it's a good one.
Community Workshop out in strong show as well.
There are some good ones out there, so do check them out. Great mods as well. Here we go.
Incendiary used there from the MG42 in the building. Incendiary absolutely lethal against light vehicles and infantry alike. We've still got great flanks on this right side from the Volksgrenadiers. They can see the cone of fire from the MG, and they're trying to flank it hard.
Nice Sturmgewehr usage. Getting around the angle of that cover, forcing away the Tommies. Elsewhere in the west, I can see Von Asten starting to get a little bit leery. Starting to push into the centre, yes, with the T-70. Rakettenwerfer about to open up, though. Nice shot there, going to keep it out of battle for a while. And here comes the Panther Command Tank variant. This offers defensive auras to all vehicles around it, but it's a damn offensive weapon itself, and that's not because it's insulting to your mother on Christmas Day. It's because it's got a very, very good 7.5 cannon, and this thing has very good long accuracy and good penetration, as does what Devem's building right now.
That's right, Devem's going to be building the Jagdpanzer IV. We'll give that unit a little bit of an introduction when it comes out, but there's a lot happening on the field at the moment, and it's because Isildur has gone for Mobile Assault Regiment as Brits. He's playing the land mattress, and that's the really loud rockets you can hear all over the exit of Helping Hands and Devem's base right now.
And there you go, it's obliterating units that dare show their heads. And we've got a lot of movement here. There's the MG gun, the denier of movement, a tale as old as time in Company of Heroes. A constant battle. Here's the Jagdpanzer IV. This thing is a fantastic weapon for this map. It's a long, open map, and a tank destroyer with its low profile and lack of mobility does make use of a great cannon.
Von Asten manages to get a snare off on the Panzer II Lukes. He's got nothing to back it up, though. The AT gun gets into position, but Hasn't really been effective against the Lukes in this game. Things, however, heating up on the east side of the map as both Helping Hands and DevM try to double down on Isildur to get hold of that fuel on the right side. Under cover of smoke there from the ISG, a Stern Pioneer and Volksgrenadier should be able to secure that. The question is, do they have the indirect fire to clear support weapons from the other side of the map?
There's another way that OKW have become a full-fledged and respectable faction. They do have smoke from the ISG nowadays. Here comes the Panther. It's facing the right way. It's firing over the pond. What was it firing at there?
Firing at the
Tommy's. Interesting. Okay.
Not the best use of ammunition.
Possibly not. You don't get that many rounds in a tank, but well, of course you do in cunning areas, you get infinite, but in real life that is. Here we go, we've got nice smoke of air usage forcing away the Tommies. Elsewhere the Rakettenwerfers lurk. They're going to try and hunt for any tank that comes around those bushes. Could have been the Cromwell, but that's safely over to the victory point there.
Oh, I think we're going to see a successful... Oh no, they don't get it! Because the Raketten was uncloaked. Unfortunately, one dies. He's got to get that other one out of there. I thought he was going to go to cut off the Cromwell. That didn't work.
It's always going to be difficult. They were spotted and they were eviscerated. So nice little pick-up for Von Asten and Isildur there. They're battling back, Dan.
Von Asten and Isildur have turned this map from a sea of red into a nice calm blue for us.
Or a Pokeball, I would say. It's divided. But certainly the top used to be
a
red.
Nintendo Switch.
Indeed. Oh, that didn't do anything. Made his foot a little bit warmed up. We do have...
I always want these to hit, but...
You're such a sadist. What have we got? A Isildur building. Looks a little bit like a Sherman Firefly there.
It does indeed. Oh, I didn't realise we had Von Asten just building the Katusha.
Stalin organs warming up its vocal cords. Oh, a hell of a lot of rockets. Still used to this day in the Middle East, of course. This tractor-based design's fantastic. Just should turn some of these graphs around. Look at Helping Hands' preservation. This guy is a marvel when it comes to keeping what you've got alive and just being a rock for your opponent to break themselves upon. Sherman Firefly there, of course. British ingenuity. Couldn't fit the cannon in the tank, so they turned the cannon sideways.
By the way, we've just got Luftwaffe selected for DevM. He's making use of Valiant Assault at the moment, which means his infantry are supercharged. They're all over the battlefield. They're highly vetted and they're equipped, and they're going to be getting on the flanks to try and push away any of those units in the center. Here's the first shot from the Katusha. It's trying to take down the Raketten with a successful shot.
Yes, it was successful indeed. That's all it's going to do for now, though. Valiantly, the Volksgrenadiers are running away there to the west of the picture. Katusha finishes his barrage, and look at that nice assortment of armour that has been built up for Von Asten and Isildur now. They have won the infantry engagement for the past 5 minutes of play, much to possibly naysaying from myself and some people in chat saying this game looks over. Well, it certainly was looking over. Then Von Asten and Isildur started to find themselves and started to find nice tactical victories here and there, and they did start to add up. More fire.
Yeah, this is the land mattress, actually, from Isildur. He's trying to just cause chaos in the center, maybe get some wipes on retreating models. This is a bad retreat from DevM, though. He's retreated 2 squads through it. I think he lost one then.
Lost a lot of soldiers regardless, and that's a big manpower casualty for him. That's going to keep that central victory point in Allied hands for time to come. So they have dropped 180 victory points, but they're now stable. Volksgrenadier is being forced away. More rockets firing, the bombs go high into the sky, and what's going to die? It's a lottery out there, because it's just, you know, a survival of the luckiest.
I really like this, by the way. The conscripts have picked up the Bren gun, and conscripts veterancy too, I believe, have 40% accuracy increase. So that's a big pickup for them. They're a very good squad with that.
Got another Stuka coming out for Helping Hands. This guy's going to try his luck in... Oh, look at this tactical battle group from Hands. Resurgent onto the battlefield. That conscript did not stand a chance. Von Asten uses fear propaganda artillery somewhere, by the way. Where he's dropping those leaflets. Oh, it's right on the blob, but he missed them. There's just some bedtime reading for when they get home, I guess.
I think he's trying to stop them from moving on to the VPs, because they're draining the VPs hard. May as well spend the munitions that way. But look at this, he's Helping Hands spreading out his units to try and get around the suppression cone of fire there. This is a great push. He's going to be able to move the position of that Maxim for sure. And in the background, we've got the Panther trying to clear up some of the penal battalions. Great push. Completely removes Von Asten from that side of the map.
Yeah, clean sweep there. And they've now got to recapture. They don't have a pee at Dan. You do not want a spring-launched rocket, right? It's not a good idea. The Brits thought of it. They tried it. It's rubbish. And the Stone Pioneers die just looking at it. Jesus. That was a nice Katusha barrage there. Stone Pioneers paid the price. A very valuable squad has now died. Oh.
Well, that was going to be a bigger hit there, but the Stuka, of course, they're just guessing targets at the moment. Indirect fire on Crossing in the Woods is a known, and it has to be assumed that it will devolve into this.
We're casting one of... I always think when a foreigner looks at like British cricket, for example, like test match cricket commentary.
Right.
This is very similar to this. It's like, look, Jeffrey, there's another rocket artillery barrage. What a fantastic centrepiece that was. He's lining up for the crease, and here comes the Katusha. Lovely motion. Fantastic. Only 20 men died this time. Oh, time for tea. It's like some weird kind of celebration of death. It's Armageddon.
It's got its sad points, hasn't it?
It has. This is beautiful as a spectacle goes, but I do think that unfortunately on this map with 2 versus 2, it does become a bit of what we in the community call an arty fest. And that isn't a festival at all.
I don't know if I use such polite terminology normally. But the idea of this, I mean, at this point, you know, the game becomes loud. It becomes difficult. What we've got dropped here, we've got DevM. He's dropping in, I think it's Ju-87s from Luftwaffe. It's going to suppress some infantry and help to deal with the tanks. But the Axis find themselves deep into enemy territory.
Look at that Panzer II. It's going all the way around the cusp there. Destroys the house by driving past it. Gets hit by the 6-pounder there. The Command Panther's also in peril. Here comes the other T-70 taking some cheeky pot shots at the rear. That Cromwell's doing well as well. The Panther's trying to find it. But this is an absolute terrible showing for DevM and Hansa. Should they lose another tank here? T-70, the little tank that cut's chasing him. He's chasing him. He got him.
Oh, no. Don't crash into the Katusha.
He got him. Nice work from the T-70.
That was a terrible push, I have to say, because, you know, they lost so much health on the initial push. They decided to commit, and really, they're lucky to get away with any tanks.
I can't believe it. How could DevM and Hans, let's face it, throw that engagement so badly? They lost so much there. They've only got the Jagdpanzer remaining. Where is that Jagdpanzer? Just want to check on its health. It's safe. It's safe. That's the only thing they've got. Can we just check on Helping Hands' forces for a moment?
Of course, yeah.
Right, he's just got a Stuka. The other one must have bitten the dust there.
That was the Command Panther that went down. The Panzer IV was from DevM. That went down. Just not a good engagement.
Check out the graphs, Dan. If you look at the graphs now, oh my god, do not buy stocks or shares in Helping Us DevM. Because
the markets are closed. The markets are closed.
What's that? Just flew past the window. That was Helping Us DevM stockbroker.
Oh, well, if allies needed an entry into the game... We say this about Company of Heroes. When things look certain that someone's winning, it just takes a little mistake. And suddenly the favours... it's completely changed now. And Company of Heroes can turn like that. That's why you don't want to quit the game too early. Keep playing your best. And stuff like this can always happen. I think he's bringing along...
He's got one. He's
soldiers.
He's got a trophy. That's sick tank. And he's going for the Stuka, of course. Here he goes. He gets him. He might get the Jagdpanzer. What a nice foray for Isildur. He's got very strong frontal armor. Is now facing and should be able to polish off the job. One lucky penetration could turn things around.